Hello, everybody. How you doing today? This is Cracked Wide Open. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today with me. Your presence means so much to me. Trying to get my camera right so I can see you guys. I enjoy holding this sacred space for those who want it and need it. So today I would like to continue from last week's video, and today we'll be discussing the 32 chakra systems and the energy pathways. Disclaimer, this information is really just suggestive only, and I'm not giving it to change anyone's belief systems. I am simply allowing myself to give information for someone to use as a guidepost, a stop sign, if you will, maybe with some challenges that you may be encountering in your life. We are all on our own personal journey, right? And it's personal and it's yours, and all the answers that you're seeking lie within you. Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate you guys so much. I thought at first I'd share a little bit about myself to help you guys get to know me a little bit better. I've been in the medical field for over 40 years as a nurse and a respiratory therapist, so I know the processes of the body in and out. I've been in the trenches for a very long time. So that I am also a medical intuitive. I am an energy healer, and I work with clients to assist clearing blocked or stuck energy that is within their bodies. And I use the chakras and the pathways, among other modalities, to accomplish this. This alternative healing restores and promotes homeostasis within our bodies and our clients. If we hold a chronic thought or belief in our mind that creates an emotion, because thoughts create emotions, then that emotion, if it's bad, good, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. If it's hurting you or not serving you or coming out in a negative and not so good way, over a long period of time, it becomes what they call chronic. And that chronic situation causes an issue in the energetic pathways, both physically, spiritually, and psychologically. So as an energy healer, I work on what is considered a quantum framework, if you will. And these chakras that I work with, people ask me, what is the quantum framework? Well, the quantum framework is, to me, like revolving doors, a bridge, or a crossing. It's a few things during these types of healing based on the client. Sometimes I get a door, sometimes it's a bridge, and sometimes it's just a crossing. And to help you understand that, when you have your spiritual awakening, which you will, everyone's entitled to it. It's yours. It's free. It's your God-given right. It was assigned to you the minute you were created from consciousness. So if you want it, it's there. So just know that everything you're seeking lies within you. So what the quantum framework does is it allows me to go through these revolving doors, these bridges, or these pathways, or these crosses, right? And depending on the client, first, number one, I can transform any psychic energy into sensory energy and vice versa. And how I do that is through the portals into an anti-world, if you will. I travel and I can erase problems and replace them with light. If you have a negative entity, let's just call it a thought. We'll just use the thought as the entity. So we'll call the thought the entity, right? So if you have that entity and it's chronic and you keep thinking it and it's creating an emotion in your body and it's causing you to react in a negative way that's causing your body some sort of suffering, those portals get blocked. Those pathways get blocked, and you're not able to receive the nerve impulses or the sensory input to and from other people and your environment. We are all made of energy. So I have the ability to do this through these portals, because this world, if we have this world, we have an anti-world, don't we? If we have no, we have yes. If we have black, if we have white. If we have love, we have hate. That's called duality. It exists. So this is why light workers or energy healers are called light workers. If that energy gets trapped, it looks like a darkened ball of black energy, and we see it physically, can feel it. I call it intuitive hits, and I can clear that pathway through the portals of the anti-world. I travel and I can erase the problem and replace it with conscious light. It's a beautiful thing. We have the ability to bring the patient, our clients, into the darkness and through to the light. And then generally after the treatment or after prolonged periods that they keep coming, they'll say, things are changing for me and I don't understand why they're changing, and I don't want to question them anymore because they feel so good. So this helps assist in restoration. It promotes healing, and it helps maintain homeostasis and prevent disease in your body. It's very, very simple. I thought if I laid some framework down on the first two videos, it would help you guys to integrate the information a little bit easier. If you're not ready to hear the information, you'll probably store it for later, and that's okay, because every journey is personal, right? So I appreciate you guys again for stopping by. Hello to everybody in chat. Let me take a sip. So our chakras and our auric fields, our energy fields around us and within us, they're called spinning wheels of light or bands of light, according to Sanskrit, right? If you look up the Sanskrit of chakras or auric fields, the definition that they give is the spinning wheels of light or the bands of light. That's why they call light workers, because they have the ability to use these spinning wheels of light and these bands of light to assist clients, not only in the chakras and the auric fields, but the meridians, right? The meridians are called rivers of light. And the chakras are thought to connect a person into these luminous energy fields, which create and sustain us here in reality. Peace and love, Laura. Our material selves could also be called the physical or the sensory-based self, the body, the body you're in. So the healing work of the light workers do this process of joining our clients or our patients into their material and their spiritual selves, bringing them and rejoining those material and spiritual selves back together, wholeness. And by the means of using visible and invisible energy fields in the physical and in the subtle fields of the quantum framework that I'm talking about. Let me give you an example. Let me say a person or a client is and was previously bonded to their self and to their materials, to their material self, right? And maybe they experienced a trauma that was so great that they disconnected and they forged a bond where none existed, or a negative bond. Therefore, the light worker like myself assists in rejoining those two parts of the client back together to wholeness, to oneness. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. The work I do is absolutely beautiful. And that's why I do divinations and cards and other types of modalities, because, you know, it's part of who I am, and part of what consciousness wants me to do, right? So we may need to work with different modalities. Sometimes we work with, such as memories, right? We use energy to using energy, maybe on some belief systems, right? A client might experience, let's say, a long held hurt or a trauma, or a very bad experience in their life. You could name several of them. And what is really key here is in the paradox. That's what it is. It's the paradox of the mirror, right? We are actually a mirror onto other people who we are. When we say to them, "You made me do that," no, they didn't make you do it. You did it, and you're blaming them because you're mirroring yourself off them. You just don't know you're doing it because you're unconscious. You're not conscious yet. Until you're aware that you won't have awareness. That's why they call it awareness, my darlings. So the key lies in the paradox of the mirror, right? And the tarot cards are the mirror, are a mirror of your environment in your life. The healing, the modalities that I do, the Reiki, and some of the other things, those are direct mirrors off of me to the client, and the client back to me. I am not only assisting the client is assisting me. Through their pain, I heal as well. So it's a win-win, because we're not separate. There's no separation. That's the first illusion. We're not separate from God. We're not separate from anybody, right? And clients and people hold long held hurt feelings and traumas and experiences. So they start mirroring those off other people. And at first glance, if you look in a mirror, you only see your physical self in that mirror, right? I use these pathways and these doors and these bridges as a means to analyze the energetic problem that the client might be experiencing. I will link the visible with the invisible part of the client or self, right? It's a miracle, really. It's some people will say, "Oh, that's voodoo, that's foo-foo stuff." It's not. It's not. It's consciousness. It's spirituality. It's our creator. It is divine. It is divinity. It is Buddha. It is oneness, whatever you want to call it, right? So I use the doors and the bridges and the pathways, and I link myself into visible and invisible parts of the client and self. And this healing is really amazing. It takes place, but it is a journey, right? It is a journey. It is a journey for the healer and for the client. It is the inner and outer journey. We don't just have an outer shell. This outer shell that you are housed in currently is just that, a vehicle, an outer shell. The essence of who you are lies within you. You just have to find that. And then what you'll do is you will see yourself from your eyes looking out, and you will no longer operate on an egoic mind, and you will have spiritual sovereigns and free will for the first time, and you will know consciousness. It's beautiful. It's I can't even put a word on it because I can't label it. It's not something I can label, like a cup or a door or something like that. It's a feeling of unconditional love that rocks you. that you feel the most amount of love and joy that you've ever felt in your entire life, and you go, "I've been seeking this feeling my entire life." It's the secret. It's oneness. It's my creator. It's the secret. I have found the essence of who I am, and I sit in the seat of my soul, in the kingdom of heaven with God, and I sit at the right of him, seeking his face, and negate myself, and he heals my body, my soul, my spirit, my physical body, gives me gifts, and things just, they just flow. You no longer are attached to people, places, and things, and you stop seeking. If you're seeking, you are by the very essence saying you're lacking something. So this healing is something that when it takes place, it's a journey. It's not something that you just go and do one time. It's a journey for both you and the healer you go to. And the inner and the outer work during that journey is personal between you and your healer, your guru, your spiritual teacher, whatever you want to call them. It's not us. We don't do it. It's a gift that God has given us, our Creator has given us to share with others. We're simply the vehicle to deliver it. That's all. That's it. So when the healing takes place, it's an amazing journey. It's a journey of personal growth. It's coming into one's essence. And it can be hard work. It could be gut-wrenching. It could be loving. It could bring up issues that you didn't know you had. And some of my clients, they'll come back and they'll say, I don't understand why I feel so amazing and why all of this, I feel like my shoulders have dropped like 5 inches and I can breathe. Personal growth, healing oneself from the inside out, not seeking something from the outside in to please you, bring you happiness, joy, and love, because those things you seek will only be short-lived, and you'll be on seeking the next thing to bring you happiness, joy, love, and bliss, all those things you're looking for when it's right here, right now within you. I sit in the now. I think Eckhart Tolle says that. I sit in the now. I am, therefore I am. No one has to tell me that. I know it. How do I know it? I feel it. It's rocking me. It's like my mother is I'm breastfeeding off my mother and she's coddling me. And it is the most amazing peace, joy, and love that I've been seeking my entire life. I no longer have a habitual voice in my head, and I am no longer running on an egoic mind pattern that I was taught. It's another video. So this personal growth, you guys, is coming into one's essence, right? And it can be very hard work. It can be, some of it's easy, some of it goes quickly, and some of it takes some time for the clients. Old habits, old belief systems, they're very hard to break. Just ask anybody that's trying to quit smoking. Just ask anybody that's trying to do something that they know is causing them physical harm or their body physical harm, and they know they can change it, but they don't. Ask them why. They won't be able to tell you why. So in these quantum frameworks, I'm able to tell them why and bring it up and help them to remember that energy, that trauma, that hurt, that pain, that darkness, and clear it and bring them into the light. And the personal growth that they do brings them into their essence. I work on a quantum framework. I use the chakras within our bodies. Some say there are only 7. Some say there are only 32. There are far more than that. The 32 is what your body uses to regulate your body. Let me ask you something. If you had a car and everything in the car was working perfectly, you could drive your car and go anywhere. You wouldn't have any restrictions, challenges. You'd be able to go to and from when you pleased. But what would happen if I took that car? What would you do then? Could you come and go as you please? Or are you attached to the car? What if it broke down? Here's another example. Give an 8-year-old an 8-year-old a toy. Give an 8-year-old a toy, and he's going to identify with that toy and say, "That's mine." Now let another kid take that toy from him. He's going to pitch a bitch, right? Right? Because his parents gave it to him and said, "Here, this is your toy." He identifies, "Hi, this is me. I'm Johnny, and that's my toy. You can't have it. It's mine. Me, mine." It's oneness. It's everybody. It's oneness. It's consciousness. So I understand that this is a lot to take in. It is. It's a lot to take in for me. And some days I'm on the mark, and some days I miss the mark. Jesus said, "Don't miss the mark." Don't sin. Don't negate oneself. Whatever the mind tells you is an illusion. That illusion or that thought pattern that you keep thinking creates an emotion, and that emotion attaches to your body, and that makes you feel a certain way. And when it makes you feel a certain way, now you're reacting according to an emotion, not off your sovereignty, not off your free will. So the personal growth that's coming into one's essence can be gut-wrenching and hard to understand even for the clients because of old habits and belief systems that are hard to break. With working on the quantum framework and using the chakras and the meridians and the doorways and pathways to these worlds and these anti-worlds, to the invisible, the visible, it's done all with energy through me. I literally feel it from the beginning of my tippy toes, which crawls up the front of my body and goes down the back. And when it hits the back of my head, it turns cold and it goes all the way to my heels. And I know it's been transcended off my client. And it's done on, I'm not doing that. Consciousness is doing it. I'm only the vehicle in which to provide it. Nothing special about me. It's done through energy work. That's why I'm an energy healer. I'm just the vehicle. I'm divine source, God, Buddha, whatever you call it, is the healer, not me. So I do understand it's a lot to take in, and I don't give advice here, and nor do I want to change anybody's mind or anybody's belief systems. I'm only offering an alternative method to promote oneness and healing. That's it. If you have questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. If you are a light worker or a healer and you would like to be on panel and discuss some of your experience, strength, and hope to share with other sentinel beings and myself, I would love to have you. I would love to have a like-minded individual that can share with us as well. So please reach out to me. My emails are in the tags below. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing to my channel. If you are, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so, so much. I want to tell you that our souls have 3 aspects. We have a spiritual, an individual, and a material. spiritual soul, the individual soul, and the material soul, the body, right? And I consider energy work as on a holistic level, if you will, right? And holistic is like taking energetically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and physically, and it's treating the whole person with energy through the chakra systems and the meridians and treating them as a whole, right? The subtle healing energies that I draw on, they are invisible resources. They are shifts in energy, and I call them intuitive hits. It's kind of supernatural. It's natural, and so but some might claim it's foo-foo again or nonsense, and it's not. I assure you. Some are just not ready to hear the information nor have the alternative healing. You know, let me just tell you that every particle in the real world is partnered with an anti-particle, with an anti-world, and an anti-particle is a companion to mass. Okay. And it spins positively and it spins negatively and it charges and it holds things together. Antimatter is a source of energy. There's no the rocket science about that. You can go look at any science book and it tells you that. But when an atom meets its male, the positive and the negative, and they both come together, what happens is they disappear. They leave for a second and poof, they come back and they return. And what do they return as? 2 photons or units of light. What does that equal? Light, usable energy. A particle, a wave in the environment is invisible until it is observed. Antimatter really suggests there's an anti-world, doesn't it? Anti-worlds that touch ours. That's something right there, just to go and investigate and just to go on a journey with right there. Because if my sixth self is here, then my well self is in the anti-world, isn't it? Or if my well self is here, my sixth self is there, isn't it? It's duality. It's like if this world held me here, well, the anti-world would hold me as well, doesn't it? These energy pathways are what we use to pick up the nerve impulses and the sensory information from others in our environment. So it's no secret or it's no magical trick that when I'm doing hands-on healing with a client that I'm using sensory information that they're sending me and I'm sending back through them through nerve impulses through these pathways. Information, energy can't be destroyed. And again, it only exists if it is observed. Keep that in mind. So if you don't see it, it's invisible to you. I see it. Light workers, energy workers have the ability to see through these subtle pathways and work with that. Work with the chakras, work with the meridians, work with the pathways. We use many modalities. How we manage this and control our relationship within the field and our clients is individual for each healer and each client. I'd like to suggest a book if I can. It might help you understand the process. Really, I'll probably mess up her name. Lynn Mag, Taggart, Magatart, and the book is called The Field. And I'm probably messing up her name, and I'm so sorry. Her book actually suggests that we are biophoton machine. And our DNA is the the storehouse of these biophotons and emissions of energy and light, right? I mean, as a nurse of 40 years and knowing the process of the body, advanced organisms emanate more DNA photons than do less or involved organisms. That's in science. You can look that up. Advanced organisms emanate more DNA photons, light, than they do, than less than evolved ones that are evolved, already happened, already gone on organisms. And the ones that have already gone on should have built up some sort of immunity and sustained the bigger light, had they not, should they not? But they don't. Because why? The 0 point field plays a major role, in my opinion. It's originating and interacting with this internal light. It's that's just my opinion as a healer. You can ask other healers what their opinion are. You know, disease occurs in our body when our bodies reject either too much light or we don't get enough light from the energy fields around us due to blocked pathways and chakras. And you may not even know those pathways and those chakras are blocked. The universe is surrounded by light and produced by light, and so are you. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. You can pick up any science book. You can look at any nursing book, and you can look at the processes of the body. Look at a cell. Look at a neuron. What were you created out of? Look at an atom. Look at a photon. Photon is light, you know, and then when the counterparts meet, it's amazing. They come, like I told you, they come together and then boom, they're two. Now you got usable energy. That's what light workers use, that usable energy. I don't know why I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say it, but because I don't know why, but maybe Spirit's just saying it. I'm supposed to say it. I remember driving to San Diego, and they have these wheels that spin that cause energy, right? For electricity. And there are miles and miles and miles of them. That's the energy. That's what the energy is. That's what I feel inside. That's what I transcend and transmute and in my clients. It's like, and when I think of it, I think of those, I don't even know what they're called, but they're along a big old freeway stretch on the way to San Diego, and they're producing electricity by energy in the atmosphere. How are they doing that? Same way, through these invisible pathways and energy fields. And ask yourself, if you don't have an autonomic nervous system, and you don't have the sense when you say, I'm not walking down that alley. Somebody might be down there. Where did you get that thought? Why did you think that? Where did it come from? It's automatic. You don't even know it's happening. It's automatic. You can walk into a room and know that there is, tension in the room because you can literally feel it. And you say, I can feel the tension in the room, or I can cut the tension with a knife. I've heard those comments by many people. It's because people carry heavy pain bodies, physical pain bodies that prevent them from finding the essence of who they are and living their true self. So I want to share these videos with you guys to help you in the beginning, like I said, to, I don't know, maybe help you understand how energy workers work. We can work remotely like this, where you can see me and I can see my client. I can do horses, cats, dogs. I had a horse that I did. The gentleman stated to me that he was going to put the animal down because the vet had been there and they had done everything that they could do. And the horse had been in the family for some time and they didn't want to do that. And I said, well, can you give me a little time before you do that. I won't charge you anything. Just give me permission to work with her daily for a bit. And then you can make your decision when you're after I'm done doing my treatments with her. And he said, yes. I worked with her for 2 months, every single day, 1 hour a day. She's still standing, and he's riding her, and her injury to her hoof is disappeared, and the vet does not know why and cannot explain it. I can't explain it. I don't know why either. I just know what I'm being told. And when I feel where the injury is, where the blockage is, where the problem is, I remove it. I transmute it. I transcend it off them, out of them, away from them, and I replace it with light. Belle is her name. She's absolutely adorable. And I looked forward to working with her every day. I'm going to put a video up on my cat. I just did Reiki on him this morning. He won't let me get my coffee or even get out of my pajamas before he wants his Reiki treatment, because cats are very selfish. If you Google cats and newborns, that's why they tell you don't have a cat in the same house as a newborn, because they could suffocate them, because the cat can feel the newborn's conscious energy, because they have no blockages at that point. They've not been taught anything. They don't know anything. And that baby, that newborn, is relying on its parents for its 5 senses. And so the cat knows it's conscious, and it will lay on it. And the heaviness is what suffocates the infant. So that's not a secret either. That's energy. Even if you Google cat's purr, the cat's purr is 178 hertz, which is the peace frequency. Do you find that coincidental? A cat and peace and purring? I don't. I think it's an idiosyncrasy. I don't think it's coincident at all. I don't think anything is coincidence. I think everything happens for a reason. And the reason it happens is because it's a speed bump. It's a block. It's a stop sign. It's a detour. It's consciousness saying, don't you see that? Look over here. Look over here. Look over here. Don't you see that? Don't you see that? And consciousness is never going to abandon you, ever. Consciousness is always going to say, go, my child. I bless you. No right, no wrong. God says, when, in the Bible, come to me as you are. He doesn't say, come to me all straightened out and awake. He says, come to me as you are. No judgment. I sit in the seat of my soul in the kingdom of heaven with God, and I rock. When an action is required, I do it. When I have bills to pay, that's an action. I pay them. When it's done, I go back to rocking. When I go to work, it's an action. I go to work, I work my shift, and I come home and I rock. Everything else just falls into place. It's so blissful. It's effortless. Really, it's effortless. And I sometimes find myself feeling a tad guilty. You have to walk the walk. If you don't walk the walk, you're not, if you talk the talk, that's one thing, but if you don't walk the walk, I think that's missing the mark. I think that's what Jesus said when he said, don't sin. When he talked about that in the Bible, he didn't say don't sin. He said, don't miss the mark, hit the mark. And, turn the other cheek. He knows not what he does. Don't judge. Can you look at a man and judge him so harshly when you have your own splinters in your own eyes? turn the other cheek. He knows not what he does. When you have an awakening, that's what you'll say to yourself. I forgive you. I didn't know, because I didn't know. I didn't know an awakening existed. I didn't know that they could happen. Not a clue. Not a clue. If someone could tell me or teach me or show me or give me this information, do you think I would not have been seeking it? Oh. I'd have been seeking it every day. But what happens in that case? Seek and it will not come. That's why you don't know. If you seek something, by the very essence of you seeking, you're stating you're lacking something. You're telling the universe, God, consciousness, I'm looking for that, and I need it. I need it, and I'm lacking it. It's going to give me my happiness, my love, my bliss, my joy, my ever after, everything I want. So I do understand it's a lot to take in. I would love it if you guys could really do me a favor. Share this video out on social medias, on your social media platform. Share it on Instagram. Share it on Facebook. Share it anywhere that you choose to share it with, because there are sentinel beings that are ready to hear this information, and they don't have someone to help them integrate what's going on. And that is why they generally give up with their awakening or their spiritual enlightenment, because it's difficult for them, because they have a heavy pain body and no one to help them. And so it is imperative. I don't give two shits about Google. I don't really care. I'm not here to make a dime. I'm here to share the knowledge that Spirit's telling me to share. That's it. That's it. And I'm just the vehicle delivering it. I am a multifaceted woman. I do many, many things. You know, being a nurse, a mom, a wife, all those things are not who I am. They're just things I did. They're experiences I had in this world to gain wisdom, knowledge, to learn about what? Me, my essence, my soul, why I kept kicking my own ass, why I kept repeating patterns that were negative and harmful for me, and my outcome was not good. Yet I kept repeating them and couldn't figure out why. So I was unaware. That's why they call it awareness again. You are not aware until you become aware, and then you have awareness. That's why if you seek a spiritual awakening, it's not coming. I wasn't seeking one. When I was going through what I was going through, I had an extremely heavy pain body. I still do. There's residual that comes up and creeps its head up sometimes. It's very minimal. And I know, because now I am the witness, the observer, and I am diligent. I am like looking out a window inside of me with my eyes at myself. I intuitively know what's coming before it comes. It's quite profound. I mean, and I'm not laughing because I'm laughing for any reason. It's just I'm like, this is nirvana. This is, I swear to God, I shouldn't swear to God. I'm sorry. This is what you're seeking. You just don't know it. You're not aware. So share it, please, you guys. Share these videos. Share these videos. I'm going to attach another video to this for someone to look at. If you go under the Cracked Wide Open series, I think there's already 10 or 15 videos put up. I'm extremely grateful to you all, to every single one of you. To have you here, it means a lot to me. To see the platform grow, to see the light workers coming together and working with subtle energies to assist our fellow man and woman, I think that's beautiful. And we are not separate. We are oneness. We are one, togetherness, right? I want you guys to remember that. I really want you guys to remember that. So share the content. There are many sentinel beings who are out there looking for this information to assist them on their journey and help with integration. And they just don't have it. I know for a fact because I didn't have it. And when you're going through a spiritual awakening, you may not be able to sit down and read a book. You might not be able to write your name. You might not be able to get out of your pajamas or off the floor. It's individual. So I'll take any questions if anybody has any questions right now for a few minutes. I do appreciate you again for coming and stopping by. You're going to watch them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you guys so much. You know, my journey, it started when, well, probably quite some time ago when my son's father passed away. He was sick and he passed away very early, like 36 years old. And I tried everything I could try to save his life. And I couldn't. And it was devastating. And my son and I, we had to continue to go on without his father. And so shortly after that, maybe 2 years, there were 6 deaths on his father's side, like boom, 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 boom. So in 2 years, 3 years probably, my son lost everyone on his father's side. And he was an only child. Hard, gut-wrenching, painful for us both to go through. And I don't think a lot of those losses I grieved because I was concerned about my boy and him grieving the losses. Thank you so much. And so we went on. I went to school. I got my nursing, and I focused on raising my son, right? And I focused on fixing people, places, and things because I'm a good codependent. I learned that from my mother. She lived with an alcoholic and she was a codependent to him and cleaned up his crap. And so she taught her daughters how to do the very same thing and attract men that needed fixing that they don't get fixed by other women. So it's codependency. That led to probably taking too many of those narcotics and addiction when I had my back injury. All of it happened for a reason, to teach me, to bring me to where I am. And that knowledge, that wisdom, that information I gained is valuable. People want that information. I would love it immensely if I could prevent one person, one, from going through any of the suffering that I've gone through. My pain body was extremely heavy, and my awakening has been gut-wrenching, and I didn't have anybody. So I know how it feels firsthand because I'm sitting in the seat of my soul with consciousness, and she's dragging me. You're going to go whether you want to or not. It's just how much resistance are you going to give? And I gave a lot. I was tied to a fire hydrant 30 miles away and chained to it. I finally cut the chain. So surrender. Surrender. You don't have control anyway. You think you do. You don't. What are you controlling? If you ask someone, if they're sitting right here, right now with you, and you ask them, what's wrong? Right here, right now, what's wrong? Nothing. Nothing. Anything that comes up is a lesson, is a challenge, is a stop sign, is a detour, is a speed bump, is something that I'm supposed to see, something I'm supposed to address, something I'm supposed to learn from or teach someone. That's how we grow. That's how we evolve. I mean, just look at the animals. The animals are conscious. Look at them. They know where to go to eat, to go to the restroom. They do everything. What I do when I have to, go to the restroom, I go. When I have to eat, I eat. When I need to sleep, I sleep. That's it. And if there's no action to take, I'm right here. I'm not physically sitting here in this chair rocking, but I'm right here outside doing things I want to do and enjoying consciousness and what she's bringing in my life. It's beautiful. And I can't sometimes even wrap my little pea brain around it. So it's imperative that you understand. You can't understand this on an analytical level. It's impossible. There's no way to understand it on an analytical. See, I can't even say the word. Analytical level, because it's a feeling. You can't label it. You can't say it's this or it's that, or you can't put a label on it. It's a feeling, and you'll know. You'll know, and you won't need anyone to tell you. So when people ask me now, who are you? I am. They go, what? I am, therefore I am. I'm not Cheryl. I'm not a nurse. I'm not the respiratory therapist. I'm not the healer. I'm not the grower. I'm not the mom. I'm not the wife. I'm not the daughter. I'm not any of those things. Those are just things I did and do. That's it. Tomorrow, my son's birthday, you know? I'm so excited that my baby boy is having another birthday after everything he's been through and getting breast cancer in 2018. Having a mastectomy and 2 nodes removed under his arm and 4 rounds of chemo. He's a beast. He is a machine of consciousness, and I did everything I could to save him too. And he's clear of cancer. And that's the reason I am multifaceted. So if it offends you that I grow, or it offends you that I'm an alternative user of cannabis and not big pharma, I apologize to you. It's your problem, not mine. Right? It's your problem, not mine. I don't want to poison my body with big pharma. I'd rather use a natural alternative substance to maintain homeostasis in my body. Herbs, essence of herbs, scents, plants that grow in the ground. Plants are 100% medicinal. First, pharmaceuticals are only a portion of the plant. I'm an herbalist. I use a lot of herbs, organic products. They are very powerful and very medicinal, and I use them in the healing practice. That's why I say I use other modalities. I don't just use a hands-on approach. I combined many modalities for people. If you're reaching out for someone for a Reiki treatment, you can reach out to me under my email. You can have a remote treatment online. It works just the same. You don't have to be in my room or in my presence. I do hands-on and hands-off. That's something that you'd like to do. I did James, and he lives in Australia. After his surgery, his physician said, you healed like 8 days sooner than you should have. I just assisted. I just gave him what God gives me, what consciousness gives me. So again, it's not me. Don't think I'm special. Don't think I'm unique. Don't think I'm anything different than you, because I'm not. I'm a sentinel being having a human experience in this body, in this world, and the knowledge and the things that I've learned, consciousness is asking me to share, to write, and to teach. That there is not enough light workers, that there is not enough knowledge out there for people, and people are seeking it, and I want you to share it, please. And so I am. I'm sharing it in many different ways. I'm doing tarot and putting those up. I have 4 videos that are trying to upload since 9 o'clock last night. It's ridiculous. And I did the Reiki video this morning and this video today, and I'll probably be doing the Fellowship of the Day tomorrow, because the knowledge I have, I want to share, and I want to share as much of it as I can. And I probably only have about another week before I go back to a really regular schedule with my job. Still have downtime, won't be a big deal. I'll be able to still do the things I want to do and share the content with you guys. It just might not be on the same time schedule as all. I'm flexible. So I'm extremely grateful for you guys to have you here. It means so much to me. Again, please share the videos. I want to see this platform grow. I would love it if anybody is a light worker or experiencing a awakening or an aha moment or a come to Jesus moment or anything and would like to be on panel and discuss it. We would love to hear from you, and we would love to have you on. Many people are afraid to talk about the things they're going through because they think it's too extreme or they think they're going crazy. Please don't think that. Spirit brings you the things you need to see in the way that it will teach you a lesson. These are sacred symbolisms that are being brought to you, right? So I really want to tell you how much I appreciate you guys, and I want to tell you how much you mean to me again, because this platform is not about money. It's not about money. So comment below. Please join the channel and the platform. And if you have not already subscribed. Thank you. If you are subbed up, hit the bell and the notifications at the same time, or you won't get notifications. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if you resonated with it, if anything in it made sense to you. And if it didn't, it's okay. It's okay. It might later. You're probably just going to store the information and you're not ready. So next week, I'll bring you guys another video on Cracked Wide Open. I'll link a video to this one to get you guys started that will come off of this one, okay? If you have questions, you don't want to leave them in the comment section below. I understand. You can email me. I am always available. I love you guys so, so much. Namaste.